Welcome friends, so good to have you here. In this video, I'm sharing what my 10-month-old eats in a week. I am not a nutritionist or a pediatrician, just a mother sharing what I've learned along the way. I'm a working mom of two, sharing family meals and motherhood content. If that sounds interesting to you, please like and subscribe to follow along. My approach is to always try to meal plan so that my baby can eat the same stuff that my whole family is eating. Each week though, I always try to make something extra for my baby that could be a meal on its own so that I can supplement if I don't have enough from our meals to feed him. This week it's applesauce pancakes. I usually make these out of ripe bananas, but I was out today, so I made them with applesauce. I tend to always have it on hand as an easy snack and often use it to sweeten Greek yogurt for the kids too. He really prefers banana pancakes, I must say, but these still turned out good, and changing up the fruit is a good way to mix up this dish so it doesn't get old. This recipe is pretty easy to memorize. It's about a cup of fruit mixed in with an egg, and then I throw in about a third a cup of milk and mix it all together. Then I add around a cup of flour. Here I'm using 1/3 a cup of einkorn flour, a third a cup of all-purpose, and then a third a cup of baby cereal that I needed to use up from the early days. It's a way to make sure he's getting enough iron and other minerals as he's transitioning into eating a lot more food than milk. The baby cereal does tend to really thicken the mixture more than regular flour, so I just add a little bit of extra milk if that tends to be the case, just to get it to that typical pancake mixture. I found my baby likes them less thick and fluffy, but my first boy was the opposite. It's just one of those things to experiment with. My baby also loves oranges, but I still need to do the cumbersome task of removing the membrane, but I save all the juices to add to yogurt later. And this is actually the only way I found my older toddler will eat oranges if I remove the membrane. So I do it occasionally when I have the time. This baby water straw bottle is the best. He learned to drink out of the straw literally the first time I gave it to him at 6 months, and it's just so cute. The only downside is he has kind of figured out how to squeeze the water out of the top, so I'm going to have to move him to a new one soon. With my first, I would make a whole extra meal for him at dinner and lunch, and after a month or two, I just found it was too much and so depressing when he would not eat it. The first year with your first baby is just so difficult, right? You're having to learn so many things, but I ended up just stopping that and giving him what we were having and with a one safe food that I knew he would always eat. With my second, I started it pretty much right after purees, and it's been such a more pleasant journey. Here, we're having like Hawaiian meatballs. It's the first time I actually was going to give this to him, and I thought he could have a little bit of the meat and broccoli, but wasn't sure, maybe rice, so I had the pancakes on the side. We have a rice cooker, so it's mostly just a one-pan dish for me that can go in the toaster oven. The sauce is a little too strong for him, so I just get some of the pieces off the top that haven't sat in the sauce too much and rinse them off and kind of use the inside of the meatball, and he actually really loved it. My husband helps out with the cooking, especially at lunch, and made a big pot of Korean radish soup. My mother-in-law made this when they were in town, and I was thinking there is no way we are going to like this, but it's actually turned into one of our favorites, especially the boys. It's made with really simple ingredients and not a strong flavor, so it's perfect for the baby. He mostly eats the tofu and radishes, and we spoon feed some of the soup. If you're interested in the recipe, just let me know and I'll do a video on it. Maybe like this and some of the like kimchi or cucumber kimchi we do. Now my baby's behavior here is a little bit odd. If I give him any type of plate, he will just push it onto the floor, even those with the sticky. He kind of just gets hung up on the plate, and I don't know why. He's been like this for a while, so I just make it on a normal plate and feed it to him as we go through dinner. It's a bit more work, but at least I don't have to worry about cutting it all up before, and the prep work is reduced. The point here is that babies are so different, and what I've learned is you just have to listen to what they really like, and typically they'll grow out of anything. And right now I just really want him to learn and love eating. For snacks most days, we do some fruit in the afternoon, and maybe I'll make a smoothie, which he loves. I usually make it with milk, some coconut water, or maybe some leftover whey from making yogurt, and mixed fruit that we have in the freezer, and it's so easy, and he loves watching the blender. Roasted chicken with carrots and potatoes and a side of mashed potatoes is for dinner. Everyone in the family really loves this meal, and I make chicken stock out of the carcass. I'll link another video on how I prepare most of these meals too if you're interested. But one of the changes for the baby I make is to put a lot of water in the bottom of the pan so the veggies are really soft. And he loves mashed potatoes, so I don't put too much salt in, and that's something we can easily add to our plate to taste. He really gobbled it all up and was one happy boy ready to get out and move. The next day for lunch, we wanted something spicy, so I just let him have some leftovers. We had plenty in the fridge. To switch up the pancakes for him, I added this lax spread, which is really good for babies in the early days of starting solids. It's made of soaked cashews, prunes, raisins, and dates that just all go in a food processor, and it keeps in the fridge for quite a long time. To make sure he's getting enough protein, I like to mix the mashed potatoes with the shredded chicken because he really likes the mashed potatoes, and then he'll eat a little bit more of the chicken. Another family favorite that my baby also loves is this crusted cod with a garlicky, creamy pasta and roasted red peppers. It's one of the few ways I can get him to really enjoy and eat a lot of fish is like this, and I try to cook the pasta in my homemade chicken stock to really boost the nutrition for him. This video is mostly for ideas for you, but I just wanted to call out that the best resource I found in this whole journey of starting to feed my boys real food is the Solid Starts app. It shows how to prepare and cut foods by age, and just being able to watch real babies eat the food that I'm about to serve my boys made me so much more confident as I moved into the whole baby-led weaning. I find breakfast to be the easiest meal of the day, and I'm usually just waking up, so I usually serve the same thing every day, some type of egg, bread, berries, and maybe some cheese if we have it.